Olá, Júlia, tudo bem? Vamos chamando a galera aqui para essa live sensacional. Vou falar em português por enquanto, mas daqui a pouco já vamos mudar a chavinha para o inglês. Então, vamos lá, pessoal. Vai mandando essa live para os seus amigos. Daqui a pouco a gente muta o português. Tá super especial essa live e vocês estavam esperando por isso faz algum tempo. Então, vamos lá, manda para os amigos aí essa live super bacana, ok? Estou mandando aqui para algumas pessoas. Oi, Lorena, tudo bem? Vou dar alguns minutos aí para o pessoal ir chegando. Vai mandando essa live para os amigos, ok? Nós já vamos começar, só mandar aqui para algumas pessoas. Oi, Nina. Oi, Andressa, tudo bem? Isso aí, vamos lá, vamos divulgar essa live, manda para os seus amigos aí, usando o aviãozinho. Pois é, Lorena, nosso todo, né? Vai mandando o aviãozinho para os amigos, para o pessoal assistir. Nós já vamos começar, deem só alguns minutinhos para que eu possa mandar para as pessoas. Ela já está lá no YouTube, se vocês quiserem dar uma olhadinha. E nós já vamos começar aqui. Daqui a pouco nós mudamos para a chavinha para o meu inglês perfeito, que vocês já conhecem. Certo? Só o pessoal ir chegando. Just 2 minutes to start with our guest, Dorothea. Just 2 minutes. Okay. Olá, Michael. Olá, tudo bem? Ok, vamos lá. Vou falar em português primeiro, depois eu falo em inglês e a gente chama a Dorothea. Muito obrigado, pessoal, por vocês estarem aqui hoje. Eu sei que o pessoal vai chegando daqui a pouquinho. Essa live super especial, a nossa live de número 51, hoje com uma convidada muito especial, que é a Dorothea Taylor, lá dos Estados Unidos. Eu sei que vocês estavam ansiosos aí por essa live de hoje. Então, compartilhem aí com seus amigos, enquanto a gente está fazendo a live. E tá lá no YouTube também, para quem quiser depois dessa transmissão, vai estar no YouTube também. Não esqueçam que vocês podem e devem mandar as suas perguntas usando aqui a caixinha de perguntas que está aqui embaixo. Alguns de vocês podem não ter aquela caixinha com ponto de interrogação, ou escreve nos comentários, ok? Então, como vocês sabem, nós vamos falar em inglês. Pode mandar, oi, Fernando, pode mandar pergunta em português, eu traduzo, ou se quiserem mandar em inglês, a gente vai passar para ela, tá? Então vamos lá, vamos aproveitar essa live que é super especial nesse domingão, né? Garanto que você não está fazendo nada em casa e vai aproveitar hoje o dia do baterista assistindo essa live, ok? Então vamos mudar a chavinha para o inglês e vamos lá, espero que vocês curtam. Hello people, tonight it's a very special live streaming with Dorothea Taylor from United States. A special guest that for sure that you was all of you were waiting for, and don't forget to send your questions to Dorothea here using the question box down below, okay, or writing at the commentaries. Hi Tiffany, how are you? Stay here, stay with us. We have about 50 minutes with Dorothea, and it depends on you. If you want more with this sweet lady, or no, I'm pretty sure that you all want more. Okay, so let's start. Let's call in our guest for tonight, Miss Dorothea. Hey,
Hello.
hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. This is Dorothea. Thank you for your time. We are very honored by your presence here.
Hey, everybody.
Do you want to say hello for the people here? You can say in English, of course, for some friends that are coming.
That's the only language that I know.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry for my English. And tonight we have a special. Actually, today is in Brazil we call the Drummers' Day. Today, do you believe in that?
Oh, yeah. Every day. Every day.
It- what best can be the Drummers' Day that like this, having you at our live streaming.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. We have so many drummers coming here right now. The people don't stop to come, and for sure we will have so many questions. People, don't forget to send your questions. I know that you have at least 3 questions for Mrs. Dorothea. Okay, let's start.
Okay, sounds good.
Tell us, what about seeing Mr. Butteridge on the TV screen when you was learning drums or when you was young? How about that? Because today we don't have this kind of experience no more.
No, not really. I was very young, and it might have been when I was 6 or 7. I had started playing drums at 13, but I think I watched Buddy Rich when he was on television. There were certain shows that he was always on, and he was on a show called Johnny Carson. And Johnny Carson was like a little, shy drummer himself, but he was actually pretty good. So when he would always have Buddy Rich on because he loved him. And Buddy Rich was just one of the world's greatest drummers. He was just able to do some crazy things that no other drummers ever did and probably still don't. So every time that he was on, my parents would be up late at night, and if he came on TV, they would come up and get me out of bed. I'd go downstairs and watch Buddy Rich, and then go back upstairs, go back to sleep, and then get up for school the next morning.
And you did you dream with drums after seeing Buddy Rich some nights? Did you return to your bed and dream it with Buddy Rich or playing like Buddy Rich?
Yeah, I just dreamed that I would even be able to come close, which I don't think I've ever come close to his playing, but it just inspired me to want to play and to learn as much as I could.
What kind of rudiments or drumming or movement at drums around the drums that more impressed you seeing Buddy Rich?
Well, his his singles with his left hand was just crazy, amazing. I had never seen anyone else compared to him with that left hand was just nuts. It was just amazing. And his footwork also, just on a single bass. And that was just one thing that I watched closely and I was admiring the whole time I was watching him.
The drum kit at that time was, let's say, bigger, not bigger at all, but the bass drum was bigger than today. For example, it's pretty much common to do to play at a 24 inches bass drum at that time, or
Right.
26 maybe. Um, how can you explain a drummer playing so fast with bass drum like Buddy Rich with so big bass drum? So what kind of exercise do you study to try to do like that kind of bass drum motion?
Well, I don't brag on my bass drum foot because I really never played in any kind of a band where I needed to play that fast, and so my foot is not that fast. It can't compare.
Because when I saw Buddy Rich the first time, or Jenny Krupa, or other drummers of that era, I was I think at the time when I with maybe 16 years old. Uh, wow, how that drummer can play like that and practice with a practice pad, because when you see the Jenny Krupa drums book, you see the little practice pad. So I had one, but I cannot understand what the relation about playing at the practice pad and playing and that way in a drum set. When you start to studying, uh, did you practice at the drum set or practice pad?
Just a practice pad and a marching snare drum, the real tall marching snare drum. Because when I joined the Drum and Bugle Corps, that's a marching drum and bugle corps, uh, we practiced, during the week on those snare drums, but we also practiced on a big ping pong table, the table tennis ping pong table. We
Yeah.
played on the wood, and so there was little as all of us were playing around. There was all little circles where everybody played, and it was wearing the table down. But that's where we stood around as a group and learned, singles and doubles and paradiddles. So I played on a practice pad really for the first 3 years before I bought a drum set. My father finally got me a drum set when I was in 11th grade.
Great. So this has made all the difference, in your opinion.
I think so. I think so. I think all the drummers that I've read about in Modern Drummer magazine or any of the drum magazines, the drummers that I admire will always tell you that they put in the work on their practice pad. And if your hands are working, then you're not struggling as much when you get behind the drum set.
Yeah. So let's start with a little shop from you. What do you recommend for young drummers that are watching us now to start to playing at practice pad? Uh, Sometimes the drummer are starting to watching so many YouTube videos, so many faster drummers, so many almost magical things on the drums, and they start to be confused by so many information. What do you recommend for serious to start to study at the practice pad?
I would recommend, buying a pair of sticks that aren't real lightweight. Get some that are medium to heavy, just so that you'll build your hands and build your wrists, and a nice bouncy practice pad. And if you aren't going to study out of one book, I would get George Stone's stick control, regular George Stone stick control book. And there's so much information in that book that you can take and apply to the drum set. There's so much in there. Just on page 1 gives you various stickings, right, left, right, right, and then they'll invert it, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left. And then the next number 7, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left. So when you start putting these together and not just playing them slow, but when you're actually learning them and getting them down at a pretty good clip, that's when it becomes fun. But if you were, I'll give you an example.
Oh, great.
Okay, so turn my snares up. Hopefully you can hear it.
Yeah.
Put this down a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So we're in George Stone's stick control book. And I'll play number 5 first, which is just a paradiddle. Are you able to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't be satisfied, new drummers. Don't be satisfied with that speed. This is not the speed that you're going to be using. You're going to be using, a pretty good clip so that you can get around the drum set. Then learn number 6, which is an inverted paradiddle. But then when you put some speed to it, so have fun with these things. And that page, it's the first page in the book, but it's number 5 page. That whole page are exercises that you are going to use around the drum set.
And show us a little bit how this kind of movement can sound on the drum set.
Okay.
Great.
So the one that I was doing was number 6. But when you start accenting and having fun with it and using it as a fill, it just turns your whole drumming experience to just having more fun with it.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have any problem with your microphone?
Sorry, I turned that one down, otherwise it distorts
Okay.
it so much.
Okay, pretty good right now. Pretty good.
Okay.
So when people start to learn the drum set, almost all the students want to play really fast for the first time, and
Right.
don't be patient with the having fun with the rudiments or anything like this. And I know you have been doing lessons about 39 years. What kind of advertisement you say for the student?
What kind of what?
When your student wants to play really fast for the first time?
Oh, well, I tell them that it's impossible, for one, to be able to play really fast without spending hours and hours and hours of, pad practice, wrist practice, hand practice. So, I mean, in order to get around the drum set, you have to build these singles. And it takes time, a lot of time, sometimes years, in order to get faster. Because a normal person off the street trying to play drums, if they pick up a pair of sticks, they have no clue, and their hands do not work yet. So you have to spend a lot of quality time practicing. It can't be 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. It has to be hours a day. And just like any famous guitar player, and the reason that they're famous and they're really, really amazing on their guitar is because they've spent like a Saturday, 12 hours a day practicing. And every night after school, say if they're still in school, they might practice 5 or 6 hours a day. Those are the students and the people that are good musicians because they have spent that time working their craft.
Yeah, we believe so. So let's talk about a little bit about jazz. Do you play with Ray Charles and among others? But tell us how about play with Ray Charles.
Well, this was kind of funny. Okay, so I can say that I played with Ray Charles, but we didn't meet him. None of us met him. I don't know where he was in the building when we were rehearsing. And we were all out on the stage because there was a whole horn line and there was some strings, and then I was on percussion, which was timpani and xylophone and shaker and tambourine and triangle and things like that. So we were all ready, and we thought he was going to come out and rehearse a little bit with us. No. So time for the concert. The concert starts, and the band that he brought with him, his major players, the bass player and the guitar player and the keyboard player and his drummer, played some like intro music for the audience and everything. And then somebody walked Ray Charles in, and we were just in awe of him. And he came in, and there we were ready to play. He sat down at his keyboard and just started, and we played the whole concert with him. When it was over, then his escort came and got him, took him to the back, and we finished up playing, the closing song. And when we walked to the back, he was nowhere to be seen. So
neither him saw the band on the concert.
He didn't see us, and we didn't see him.
People, don't be shy. Write your questions, anything you want to know about this incredible drummer using the question box down below, or write your question here on the comments. It will be a pleasure to send or to read to Dorothea. So you have been playing with so many bands and styles. Elvis tribute band, and jazz, and at the church, of course. Like me, I play at church too. Tell us how to manage this so many bands. What kind of preparation you do for any style, and what is important for the modern drummer bring to her bag of tricks to play so many styles?
Yeah, well, the first thing that I do is, if I know that I've been called to do a jazz gig, I will start listening to jazz for that whole week, just to get that feel. Because just by listening, I can get a feel for what the other drummer is doing in all these jazz songs. So I get that, and most of the time, if I do a jazz gig, there's no charts. It's just go in and do it. No charts at all. So I've just listened to things that I think, would apply for that jazz gig. But the other thing I do is I'm very conscious about what equipment to take. Because if you do play rock, classic rock, jazz, country, your equipment changes. People don't realize this, but I don't take the same cymbals for every gig. If I'm playing a jazz gig, I'm going to take a jazz ride cymbal. I might take 2, because for jazz, you don't use a lot of crashes. You just use ride and hats. So I select some hats that are going to be nice and crisp. And I have 2 pair of Zildjian 14-inch new beats. One is a Buddy Rich new beat. This was from the 70s, and they were called 14-inch Buddy Rich new beats at the time when I bought them. And then I have a Zildjian light hats, and those are very sweet for jazz. They're light, and it says light hats underneath them. I don't even know if they still make those or not. But so I'll take those for a jazz gig, because a lot of the jazz gigs are like in a restaurant when you don't want to be really loud. And that works out really well. And I'll take a different snare drum. I'll take a drum that's not so loud in your face. And I'll take a small kick drum. I'll take my small one. I have the Questlove kit, the Ludwig Questlove kit, and that's only 16-inch, but I have Evans heads on them. And for a jazz gig, you know, I might tighten them up a teeny bit and put no muffling in it. And for a rock gig, a classic rock, I can lower that bass drum head and put a kick mic inside, put a different front head on with the ported hole, put a mic in there, and even play a classic rock gig with that same bass drum. But I've, you know, done something to it to change it. So then I'll get sticks. Now these are Vic Firth, Keith Carlock, and so they're really sweet for jazz playing. Versus if I got a heavier stick. This is a Dave Weckl stick, but listen to the difference. Versus, so the feel is lighter. So I even bring, you know, different sticks to use for a gig. I might bring something even smaller as far as the tip on this Keith Carlock. Even though they're small, I might change it to like a Peter Erskine ride tip for it. So I changed my sound for the application of whatever kind of gig it is. If I'm playing outdoors and it's a rock gig, then I'm going to use louder cymbals and I'm going to use heavier sticks. So I think being prepared and being learned about your equipment and learn about being a drummer, what all it takes, what kind of drum heads that you want. You don't want a real thick ply head on a jazz kit. You just don't. So I think it's important for drummers to learn everything they need to know about playing drums. I worked in a music store and I had guys that played 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, that didn't know how to tune their drums. They didn't know how to put a new snare strainer or a new set of snares on there. They would bring them into me, and they were playing all week long, but didn't know anything about their equipment.
Really?
I found that very strange.
Yeah, I think so. It maybe is a kind of lazy. The people are lazy today to do this kind of stuff.
It could be. It really could be. I don't know.
Incredible. So, people, when you heard Dorothea teaching or saying this kind of words, I hope that you make some notes and try to think when the gigs return here in Brazil, because
Yes.
we're still not doing gigs, sadly. Okay, we have a question here. Let me see. From Adriana Gregos. I have problems and difficulties to do too fast kicks with my foot. Sometimes foot not respond. How do you do? Maybe she want to know how do you practice your foot? Maybe she saw your DRUMEO video playing heavy rock.
Well, I think it just goes along with just practice. I think a way to do that is to practice, uh, like you could put a double, right, right, and then a kick, kick, you know, right, 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 just over and over. It's really repetition. The more that you do it, the more muscle memory and the more strength that you have in your foot, in your leg. I think it's just, repetitive practice daily. Uh, be sure that you have a good bass drum pedal. Be
Yeah.
sure that you check the action of it. You can check the tension. You might be able to do it better if it's tighter. Some people can do it faster if it's looser. So what you do is you sit behind your drums and experiment. Change the tension of the spring and the angle of where the beater is. Some people have it too close to the head, so it doesn't have much room. You have to have a decent space in between to get that in, that double in. But there's a lot of technique if you search YouTube on, pedaling where it's da-dum, 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 so it's a toe and then back into this part of your foot, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. And like I said before, just practice over and over and over, and it will eventually come.
Yeah. Do you play heel up or heel
Heel
down,
up.
or
Heel up.
both?
Heel up is the best way. If I'm playing jazz where
Yeah.
you're so relaxed and you don't use a lot of bass, then I will relax my leg and put my heel down. But anything that you're busy with, any kind of rock thing, you've got to have your heel up and your foot and your toes ready to go.
Yeah. When you play a jazz gig, do you change the bass drum beater?
Beater, I do.
Yeah.
I'll put a softer side on.
Do you have your anything to show us near to you, your beater?
I have a nice DW one over on the other drum set, and then on my on my Rogers kit. I'm sorry, I have
Yeah.
a DW 9000, and that's really nice. But on this Gibraltar, no, it's not. It's a Tama double pedal. It's not an expensive one, so I don't have a key, but it does have two surfaces. It does have, and you don't want anything really loud for certain gigs. You wouldn't want it for jazz. You want just a nice warm feel. So it's nice to have a beater that you can turn from side to side, or back to front rather.
Yeah, great. I saw your new or old Roger drum kit, the blue one.
Yes.
Tell us about the difference about between uh, a drum kit like your Rogers, and this new one, the W.
Well, it. I don't know if I know how to explain it, but this Rogers that I have, if everybody goes to my Instagram page,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I forgot to turn this mic on when I was over there earlier today. So you can't hear me talking unless if you put earphones on, you should be able to hear me talk about the drum kit a little bit. But it's from 1965, and it's called the Holiday Edition, and it's in mint condition. But let me tell you how I got it. So when I worked at the music store, people would come and go, come and go. Well, this guy came in and he had these dusty old Rogers not taken care of, it was in somebody's garage, and it was his grandfather's. His grandfather died. So this boy didn't play the drums. So he had them in the back of his car and he wanted to sell them. But the music store I worked for didn't buy used drums. So what I did was I traded him. I bought him a guitar, an acoustic guitar, and it wasn't a very expensive acoustic guitar. It was a nice one. I think it might have been a Yamaha. But I got it at my cost, which was, quite a bit less than what the retail price was. I took it off the shelf, handed him the guitar. So I paid for the guitar, and I went out to his car and put the drums in my car, but he had all Zildjian cymbals, old Zildjian cymbals. Those light Zildjian hats were with it, a 20-inch old Zildjian ride, and two 18-inch Zildjian crashes. And guess how much I paid for the whole thing?
200 bucks?
Not even quite. $168 for the drums and the cymbals.
Wow.
So that was a steal. But he didn't want them. He just wanted a guitar that he could take down to the beach. Didn't have to be a fancy guitar. And so I made out good with that.
Wow.
So you asked about the sound. The 20-inch kick drum is amazing. It's real solid and it's heavy. So I don't really take those drums out because they're heavy. But the quality of that drum is just so warm and just, oh my goodness, I can get good sound out of that kick drum. And it has a 16 by 16, so I can get really lows with it. I tried tuning it up high. It was kind of funky, but I don't know. I might have not had the bottom head high enough. I tuned the top one up, so I had to bring it back down because I didn't really like it up too high. But the mounted one, the 12-inch, I can tune it up. I can tune it down. It sounds great with whatever. But now my DW kit that I have here, this 12-inch has been a thorn in my side. It is the hardest thing for me to tune. I can't get it to where I want it to sound. If I take it off the rack though and play it, it sounds okay. If I put it back on, it stops the sound. It kind of muffles it by the hardware that it's hanging on. So it's always been a pain. The 10-inch sounds great. The 8-inch sounds great, but the 12-inch, and then I have a 14 by 14. And these are early DWs. I've had these for a long time. The good thing about these drums, Greg Bissonette, do you know Greg Bissonette?
Yeah.
He came to town, and there was nobody in town that did rental kits. And they knew that I had this nice DW kit. And so Victor Wooten, the famous bass player, he was in town, and Greg came to play drums for him. And so somebody came from the college and helped me package it all up. We took it out to the college, and they performed out there. So he had it for a couple of days. Then he came back a few years later and borrowed them again. And also Kenny Arnoff, he came to town to play with Victor Wooten. Victor was back in town for that bass clinic. They do a bass clinic from people from all over the world come, and they've done it here in Myrtle Beach for a few years. And so Kenny Arnoff played my drums also. That's the only time these drums have been out of the house. I've never played them out because I just didn't want anything to happen to them. They're so expensive and so nice.
Really, I met the great Greg Bissonette here in Brazil when he came to do a clinic here in my city, and he was so kind.
He's so nice.
So nice. When I see Greg playing, it inspires me because the kind of the stuff that he play on drums for me seems to be very accessible, very easy to play. Even it's not easy,
No,
but
it's
it's kind it appears to be easy. So you see Greg Bissonette and you think, wow, I want to play like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like the days that I watched Buddy Rich, I had no idea what he was playing. He was just so good. It was like over my head. But with Greg, yeah, you can kind of study and figure out what he was playing. But with Buddy, I had no clue.
Yeah. There's so many drummers today that we saw or we see on the YouTube and just see and okay, next one, because it's so hard to understand what's happening, and maybe you don't use that kind of stuff at
Right.
your band or
Right.
at your gig, correct?
Yes.
So, can you show us the first step to play a jazz groove to when you start to studying jazz? The first step.
Okay.
What kind of things you have to do in mind?
You have to have that smooth feel, and it has to be that triplet feel. Ta 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 ta. It can't be real rigid and stiff. It has to be smooth. And I hope that this is not going to be too loud. I'm turning
Okay.
this way. So it's not like it has to be flowing, just really smooth. And then what the other thing that's important are your hi-hats. You know, it has to be clean on 2 and 4. 2 and 4. And just playing that over and over and over. And then the next thing that you learn, it's if you purchase any books, it's called comping. So you're complementing the groove with your snare. And so there's a bunch of patterns that are included in these books on how to play jazz. And it's just throwing in that snare drum as like a melody, but it kind of goes along with the hits that the horns are playing. You know, you're just going to hit that and hit the bass as like a comp note. You know, but most of the time, if you just keep a good and even a cross stick, like something like this. Relaxed and flowing like that, just to get the feel. And then, you know, you speed it up for fast songs. A lot of jazz songs are really fast, so you really have to practice that ta 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 just to get the correct feel. You don't want it too stiff. You just want your hand just kind of relaxed, have your good fulcrum area going, and your fingers are just kind of helping it, just helping it along.
Do you think that is a certain kind of circular motion when doing the jazz right pattern?
Well, I've seen a lot of people do that, like Peter Erskine. I've seen him, kind of just glide on the ride.
Yeah.
Just experiment with the feel. And it's fun. It's just relaxed. Now, big band swing, you can add more bass drum, and more backbeat. But just jazz, real heavy jazz standards, there's not a heavy backbeat. Where swing, like a jazz swing, you're allowed a little bit more.
Yeah, great, great. So we want to talk a little bit about jazz brushes, maybe. But first, we have a question here. Lolo, I don't know how to say that. What do you think about John Bohan?
John Bonham?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is my favorite groove. I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
Full in the Rain.
Yeah, I love that groove. Dum 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 da dum. So shuffles are my favorite.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it's a little bit different. It's John Bonham did his own take on the Rosanna shuffle.
Yeah.
But it's still it still has that little shuffle sound to it.
In the middle of this track, we have a kind of Cuban carnival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know how to play that section of this tune.
I can't remember it right this second, but I have played it with some bands. I have played it, but I have to hear it again because I can't think of it right now.
No problem, because Full in the Rain, it is one of my favorites too. Let's see another question. Have you ever from Nike Mais Cumbia? Have you ever been interested in another instrument?
Yeah, I play the organ at church. I'm the organist at church, and I play a little guitar, and I've got a ukulele, and I have a hammered dulcimer. So I'm always doing something.
And you play some percussion too, because I saw you're playing cajon, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And
I've got a cajon set up, and my congas over there.
And you
that's
sell.
The other thing. I did play congas also with Ray Charles. I had my congas there too.
Yeah, really great. From Rina Cizenaya. I'm playing drums. My teacher is a jazz drummer, but I am afraid of jazz rhythms. What bass jazz rhythms you recommended to play first? I think you just tell us. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you just get a book on jazz, learning how to play jazz drums, it starts you off with day one, that ta 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 ta, and how to place those comp notes in there. And it's so explanatory. It takes you from the counting. one of the books that I have even puts 4 on the floor, just so you know where you're at. 2, 3, 4, you know. And then it'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. So they just keep adding little bits of those rhythms so that you know where you're at, but it's written as clean, as clear as it could be. Just you don't start in the middle of the book where it's difficult, because that is scary. You start at the very beginning, and it's pretty well, self-explanatory.
Great advice. Okay, let's move on. From Devon Hepner, what's your favorite drum head based of tone or strike precision? A little bit confusion. What's your favorite drum head?
Well, I've always loved Remo drum heads, and all the drums that I've had over the years, almost everything has been Remo. I just recently put these tom heads on. I asked a friend at the music store, and he said he uses the Evans UV2. To me, I think they're a little bit heavy for my DWs. I think they're a little bit thick for me. But now if I was to play rock with them, they would probably sound good, because then you would play them harder and heavier. And he plays heavy, so that's what he likes. My snare, I usually always have an Ambassador, Remo Ambassador. But now the Evans EMAD head, bass drum head, I have put that on all of my kits. It's just the best. It has enough muffling in it it's just perfect. I love the EMAD head.
Great. Okay, let's move on. There's some kind of Greek comment here. I don't understand.
I don't even.
Danny from Danny Forza. Dorothea is an icon. When I started to play, there was only Sheila E. And great times are these that we can contact and see and be inspired for women like her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's been fun. If I didn't come on Instagram or YouTube, no one would ever know that I played the drums.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
My neighbor next door, you'd think that they'd be kind of curious, but they've never been over here to see me play
Really?
or anything.
It so funny. Yeah, we have so many comments here. Dorothea, you are inspiration. We love you. Hello from Bahia. You are amazing. She's amazing. Taylor is so cute. Taylor is the best. Greetings from Berlin. Sorry.
Wow.
Let's hear so Elvin John's chops. So many comments. You are a legend. John, she's not a left-handed.
No,
it's because the camera.
Yeah, please don't think that I'm playing backwards, because I get confused when I see backward people. That's one of my pet peeves, actually. If you've never played an instrument, never played the drums, why would you learn just because you're left-handed? Why would you learn to play backwards? Because that's not the standard grip. It's just not. They don't make left-handed pianos. They don't put the bass over here on the right hand because you're left-handed. They don't make left-handed violins or trumpets. So when you're learning to play the drums, you don't know how to play anyway. So learn the correct way, which is going to look backwards to you. So this is my left hand. This is called traditional grip. Traditional. So if you were to play in with other drummers, if you were backwards, it's going to throw the whole line off. So a drum line has to be uniform all the way across. Everyone has to play the same. So if you're learning, it's going to be difficult anyway. So you just learn. I never teach a left-hander drummer to play backwards. Because there's just, there's no use in it, really. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. So we have here a question about 50 ways to leave your lover, but we can talk about this on the second part, because you have 4 minutes. Let me see. You are super. Okay. Hi from Argentina. You are wonderful. What drum set you buy for the first time? Okay, let's talk about. Okay, we have 4 questions here. 30 seconds for answer each one.
Okay, so what is?
How you developed this amazing shuffle with loud dynamic, great jazzy sound?
Yeah, I think it's just called stick control. You get your molar technique in there, and it's just technique, just your stick technique.
Great. Another question. Any tips from Latina VKR? Any tips for a beginner drummer like me? Got just a practice pad and very little exposure to music.
I would go to YouTube and or DRUMEO and look up beginning drum lessons, how to start learning, and it will take you through probably George Stone stick control, right, left, and holding your sticks correctly, even if it's matched or if it's traditional. And they will guide you through. There's so much information on YouTube.
Great. From J Fontana Percussion. Do you know play, or do you like play Brazilian percussion?
I'm not familiar with it. I know some Latin grooves, but I've never had to play particular Brazilian music.
Okay, just the last question. 10 seconds to answer. Which drum set would you buy for a first-time buyer? And would you buy electric or acoustic drum set?
I probably would buy an acoustic drum set. And every drum company has a decent beginner set. I wouldn't get the very lowest, but maybe one step up. They're all good drum sets nowadays. If you live in an apartment and you're not allowed to play drums because of the noise up above or up the side of you, then yes, an electric kit with headphones. But everyone that I know that has electric kit, they also have an acoustic kit because they love their acoustic kits. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
I agree. So I have one of my Rolands here behind me.
And Roland makes some great electric kits. Yeah, but I feel like you're still going to want to have both.
Yeah, I have on the first floor down here. Okay, people, we finish here this first part of this amazing streaming. So give us 1 minute just to finish this streaming and start a new one. Go back here in 1 minute, okay, and let's continue to talk with Dorothea. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, Dorothea.
Okay.
Okay, see you soon.
Okay.
Oi, Letícia, fica por aí, hein? Tá bem legal. Já vamos retornar com a nossa querida amiga Dorothea. Fica por aí, tá? Fizemos uma pausinha só para tomar uma aguinha. Já estamos voltando. Lembrando que hoje nós estamos com a Dorothea e semana que vem nós temos aí nós temos na terça-feira a Ana de Ferreira, quinta-feira Juliana Novo, sexta-feira Camille Bigot e sábado Maureen Brown. Oi, Isabela, vamos lá, vamos voltar. Here we go. Okay, we are back. I've heard something about the stick control. That the people, there are some drummers that don't like stick control because it's basically all mathematics. And I've heard something about George Stone. Even George Stone don't like the final results about writing stick control, and he decided to write accents and rebounds. Did you heard something like this?
I can barely hear you this time.
You not hear me?
I'm not.
Maybe something at your phones.
Let's try it now.
Yeah, are you hear me?
A little bit. I don't know why it's different.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why it went soft. So you were talking about people don't enjoy George Stone because it's too rigid?
It's too mathematic. So sometimes some kind of mathematics. Just combinations, something like that.
But you can use those combinations everywhere. Later on, once you get experience, you will know how to apply them. And I think you're right, when in learning them, the students just think, oh my gosh. And yes, it is like that. But then you start putting it.
Yeah.
So you're going to go around the kit. You know, you're going to be able to move around the kit quite fast.
Yeah.
So those are important things to learn. And then on deeper into the book, there's flam things in there. So you're using like flam accents or flam Swiss armies and like this. So if you take, I don't know what page it is, maybe it's back into the book where the flams are. It's just flam, right, left, flam, right, left. So now I'm going to show you what it sounds like on the kit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I use stick control for me, for my students, of course. But I ask it because here I'm sometimes hear some drummers. Oh, stick control is boring. Let's play another thing. So, do you remember that lesson that you show us in at the DRUMEO with that kind of strange title? Drummer, I don't remember exactly what was the movement that you sound like anything like this?
I can't.
The burger,
I
the
don't know.
burger.
I don't know which one it was. Was it something with a different funny kind of name?
Yeah.
Uh, was it with the rolls? Hugga-digga-burr?
Yes.
Hugga-digga-burr? Yeah. So all it is just singles and doubles. And it comes from George Stone. So this, I'll play it slow and boring, and then I'll play it fast on how
Yep.
it's supposed to be played. I'm going to turn this mic down. You can play the rolls all the way around the kit. So it's not
You're
boring if you
not
take these exercises and apply them around the kit. They're fun.
not at all. Not at all. People, you can send your questions. Remember, just for remember, you can send your questions using the comments if you want to use the comments, or use the question toolbox down below the box with the interrogation point. Write for us your questions. Write for Dorothea your questions. You are freaking out some. I send you a couple of DMs. One I have my live stream, Food for Action. Do you know who is?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay, no problem.
If it's something new, I'll look at my DMs later.
Okay, let's talk about brushes. I saw your video at the Rogers playing with new remix Vic brushes. Do you have the sticks near to you? These sticks?
They're right over here. Let me get them real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so these are really cool. I just got these at the music store. And they come like this in a packet. Like this.
It's like grass.
Yes. It's just like grass. So, but they sound good. And then you can put them together, and they also make different ones that you can combine. Different, they have a little bit different name, but they didn't have those in the store. They just had these. So you put these two together, and it comes with this circular thing.
Yeah.
It just makes them a little bit heavier. So I went back and I bought another pair. So now it has a little bit more weight to it.
Great. Well, what kind of arsenal do you think that a drummer have to have? For example, regular drumsticks, brushes, maybe some kind of mallets, rods. What do you
Yes.
recommend?
Yes. So then I also have the nylon. They're a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more volume. These are Regal tip
Yeah.
wire brushes. Then I have all kinds of rods. I have broomsticks, which I love too. I have my
Yeah.
broomsticks. Adjust your broomsticks so that you'll get a looser feel to it. They open up more. So I have fun with those. Then I have these wires. I have so many different things. You can adjust these. You can use these if you were in a venue that you had to play softer. You can still hear the
Great. So, just one pair of drumsticks is not enough for a serious drummer, correct?
Correct. I have so many drumsticks. And so when I go to a gig, I will take a few different ones, and they're not the same size. I take a few different sizes. Because if I get to the venue, it all depends on the acoustics in the room also. If it's really loud room, then I can use a smaller stick. I don't need it. If I get in there and my small stick is not enough volume, then I have a little bit fatter one, a 5A, or like this Dave Weckl one is in between a 5A and 5B, so
Yeah.
it has a lot more weight to it. So I'll take several.
What the most strange drum kit that you ever played, or the most strange drum kit that the people request that you bring to the gig?
I don't know if I had a strange one, but I do have on my Instagram page, there's a picture of my, it's called Pure Cushion. And
Pure cushion.
It's just a drum head with a rim around it.
Yeah.
And it has the bass drum, 2 mounted and 1 floor, and a snare. And so it's real portable. You can just pick it up. You fold the head, tilt it like this, fold everything in, pick it up, and just go and put it in your car, and you're done, except your hardware bag.
Yeah. Percussion does not exist anymore today for sale, correct?
That one doesn't, but Pearl is making something that's pretty close to it.
Yeah. In fact, they are. My most strange drum kit, it was playing in a restaurant Sunday for lunch, and the people just hear the music, just want to talk and eat, and I just bring with me a flat ride, just one flat ride, and a single stick.
That was it.
That's it. And the owner, the boss of the bar, after the gigs, say to me, perfect. You must do this kind of drum kit every night.
That's because they don't really want a drummer. They kind of want to be seen but not heard.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next question here. Do you see the question, Dorothea? Do you see the question here? No?
I don't know what those are.
Okay.
TAJ. They might be talking about cajon.
Yeah. From Lucas. Lucas Cabat. What do you guys think of cajones as a
Yeah.
substitute for the drums?
Yeah, I really like them. I have fun with my cajones. I really love them. I have my setup right there, and it's a lot of fun to play.
And he asked about the cajones. Okay, I don't know if you know what is a cajon.
I don't.
No.
If it's
Okay.
not a cajon, I don't know what it is.
Okay, let me explain. A cajon, it's the normal cajon. You know what it is. A cajon, you have a T instead of a C.
Mhm.
Cajon is like a cajon, a big cajon with drum heads, little size drum heads on the top, and you have maybe a 12 12 inches bass drum on the same piece, and you play with your drumsticks. It's a big cajon with drum heads on top, maybe two, maybe three, and like a bass drum on side.
I think I saw a girl playing it.
Yeah, you saw a girl from Denmark.
I didn't know what they were called.
Yeah, it's cajon.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I will recommend you for a Brazilian brand that makes cajon.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, let's see the next question. Drummer sometimes. What's the best book to begin to studying drums?
Well, we mentioned before George Stone's Stick Control. It's not going to tell you anything about getting on the drums. It's just sticking patterns, which are very important. But then there are so many books available. Gosh, I just have so many different books, and they're all good drum set books. Joel Rotham has a series that's very, very good. He has several books in that series. I have the white one, the blue one, the purple one, and they're all a little bit different from each other, but it's giving you beats, but it's also giving you counting, like 1 and a 2 and a, so that you know what you're doing around the kit. Then there's just Alfred's music company makes a bunch of, wonderful books.
Yeah.
So I think just do your homework, Google them, and just see what is available to learn how to play the drum set. But I still would recommend George Stone's Stick Control just to get your hands going.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah, we have a here from Sergio Marinescu 9. How do I improve my grooving?
Listening. And you got to feel it, You have to feel that groove. Just listen to the music, listen to what the drummer is doing, and start just appreciating the music, the song that you listen to. Think of yourself playing behind those drums and listening to the dynamics, the louds and the softs. Some people have more of a natural feel and groove. Some people have to be taught it, so you might have to have an instructor that will help you. So
okay,
it's hard to say without seeing the individual and seeing what they need.
I know. Let's see another question, because people are waiting for said your questions. Yeah, don't be shy. How do I improve my groove? Okay. Is from Tyler Pons. Is jazz drumming the hardest? Can you demonstrate some? You already demonstrate, but now you can demonstrate something more harder eventually.
Well, jazz drumming, I think if you are a strict jazz drummer and that's what you're really into and studying, uh, it definitely is not going to be really easy. But you have to have that feel of that jazz ride pattern. It has to be, you know, a constant. It has to be that constant, so that even if you're playing just four and putting a little ta 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 in there every once in a while, but in the jazz beginning books, you're going to be hearing that main jazz pattern. Learning, you know, speeds of songs. Some of the jazz songs are really fast, so you've got to get that 2 and 4. Because you do have a little creative freedom. You can come out of that ta 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 into just a. On the music, what's happening in the music. So you have to be able to listen and be aware of what the horns are doing, what the jazz guitar is doing, to be free to move around. If they just want you to be a strict, and just occasionally add. You just have to study jazz with a jazz teacher or jazz instructional DVDs, books, CDs, whatever.
Can you recommend maybe five records for the people here to start to listen some jazz? Why? Because you start to listen jazz and drums, listen to Buddy Rich, nothing less than Buddy Rich. So nowadays,
I would advise you to look up Peter Erskine and who all that he plays with. Listen to their songs. So look up Peter Erskine drums and then check out his albums of who he plays with. And another of my favorite is Jeff Hamilton. And he plays with Diana Krall. He plays with the Jeff Hamilton Trio. I would look up that. And Vinnie Colaiuta, he can play jazz, but he's like, oh my gosh, way beyond jazz also. But there are, like Chick Corea, there are some really cool albums. And I would recommend just listening to all of that kind of music.
Yeah, great. Okay, people, take note. Peter Erskine, Jeff Hamilton, great.
Jeff Hamilton. Mm-hmm.
We
Those
have
are my two favorites, I think.
Yeah, for me too. I have a comment here from Akata Onunur. Okay. I am 40 years old and I started this year to play drums. It's my dream play like yours. I hope we will success with you guys. So I think it's a kind of he is saying thank you for your shops here.
Thank you.
Sergio Marinesco, I am a bass player. My friend is a drummer, and drums and bass have to feel each other the most. Thank you.
Tight.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, we have so many questions here from Adriana. Again, I have an electronic drum. I am a beginner. I motivate. She is saying that she can do that accents on hi-hat using electronic drums.
She's asking, can you?
Yeah.
Sure. You know, it's on the electric drums, you still have the pedal that opens and closes your hat.
Yeah,
That
sometimes.
is what the other guys are listening for. That's a very important 2 and 4 for them.
Yeah, sometimes it depends what of kind of the electronic brand, the electronic drum set brand you have. I know this Roland, you can do this for sure. You can do this.
Most of them you can. Most of them.
Yeah. Okay. A question here. Drummers sometimes. Do you teach by Skype?
Yes, I do. You can contact me through, DM me through Instagram, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. It's an important question. Okay. From LSB, how do I improve my traditional grip chops?
Well, just knowing the correct way to hold the stick. But there's plenty. If you Google, I Googled for a student the other day, traditional snare drum grip. And there's plenty of info on there. And it's mainly, if you just bring your hand up like this, not like this or anything, just straight up. Your stick goes here. That's your main fulcrum, and then your forefinger goes on top. Your 2 fingers go underneath, and that's your perfect grip right there. Don't do a palm up. Do not do the palm up. If you can see your palm like this as wrong, you've got to turn it over. Your palm has to be facing across from you, just like this. So it's like an A. If you picked up another stick, it would make an A.
Yeah.
But if you had your palm up, it would be like this. So think of this as a laser shooting up. You want it this way. You want it across, so that when you're playing, you're coming up, going down, up and down.
Great. So tell us about your DRUMEO experience. I saw that you have so many videos with so many chops, but the first one that you play a heavy track, and another the egg challenge. Let's start with the egg challenge.
Well, when we went out to dinner that night after I had been there, Jared had seen it, someone do it, and he said, we need to try this. And he said, so we're going to go in the kitchen and try it out tomorrow. So we did. And I had never played on an egg before, but I did it, and it didn't break. And so we cracked it, and we took it over to the frying pan, and then one of the guys, the camera guys, ate it.
and the first experience at the DRUMEO, how it becomes for you? Tell us.
Those guys are so nice. It was so great. We had a great time. They were so nice to me, and easygoing. There was no pressure, because when I went there, I didn't really know what all I was going to be doing. And so we just did a whole bunch of like short little lessons, how you play this, how you play that. I would play it, and then they say, okay, cut, that was good. Then he said, okay, now do another one. So then I would do how to play, I don't know, pataflaflas or whatever. So I did that one, talked in the camera a little bit. Okay, good. And so we did a whole bunch of them like that. And it was just fun.
Are you doing, maybe not right now, but are you doing some studio recordings for your bands or maybe a tribute band?
No, no, nothing right now. I don't even know if I'm going to play in a band anymore. I'm not
Yeah,
playing currently, so I don't know.
okay. Because sometimes people ask me after the streaming where to they can find your records or something. Okay,
No, I'm not
let's.
doing any of that right now. I've just been busy making videos for YouTube and TikTok. I'm like 238,000 followers on TikTok right now. So,
Yeah,
and then Instagram and YouTube. So and Facebook. So I've just been having fun.
great.
And
Uh,
then I have several students throughout the week that I
yeah,
do Skype with, and that
I
keeps me busy.
yeah I believe so. From drummers sometimes, how many drum sets do you have?
I have four. I have the DW
DW.
and the Rogers, and then downstairs I have my Ludwig Questlove kit, and then my percussion flat kit. So I have four.
Yeah. A comment here by Andrea Barrera. I love you, Taylor. From Toby Cajon, drummer. I am the drummer from Hong Kong, and I want to say hello for you guys. Uh, can you teach drum in Hong Kong, please? So I think you can contact Dorothea after this streaming. Do you want to say your contact again here,
Okay.
Dorothea?
So you can just follow me here on Instagram. It's Taylor TAYLOR dot DOROTHEA. So Taylor dot Dorothea. I have a lot of imposters. There are a lot of people that have stolen my picture and put up on Instagram. So there's like 4 or 5 different ones. So the correct one is me, Taylor dot Dorothea.
Really? Do you have some imposters? I can't believe in this.
Yes. It's ridiculous. And I report them. And I don't know if Instagram doesn't bother. I don't know. But they're still up there.
I can't believe in this. Toby is saying, save live, please save live, please save live, please save live. Okay, we will save this streaming. No, don't worry. Okay, let's move the next question. Okay. From which of drums? How many years have you been teaching drums, and what was your biggest challenge teaching? Good question.
Well, I started teaching drum lines really when I was 17. I was teaching the younger kids that were coming into the Drum and Bugle Corps. So I've really been teaching off and on since I was 17, which I don't know how many years that is. It's a long time. It's probably like 50 years or something. Maybe more. I don't know. So I've been teaching a long time. And then, I would have breaks throughout. When I was having children and stuff, I didn't teach as much. And then I started teaching at the music store and teaching at the schools. And so it's just been a long time just teaching.
Yeah, great. Mike John Ant is asking, do you like Virgil Donati?
Yes, yes. And he plays traditional grip. Don't forget, I'm not playing backwards. Instagram makes it backwards. So this is my left hand. Yeah, he plays everything traditional grip.
Yeah, great drummer. So powerful.
Very powerful.
Very powerful, very complicated too. Because when I saw Virgil Donati for the first time here in my city, Curitiba, South Brazil, I was endorsed by Premier, and he was a premier endorser too. So I take my drums and take to the clinic for visual use. So when I first visual for the first time, I left the drum clinic with a headache. I was thinking, what about this? What it's even this is possible to play like this and play doubles with the pedals and
Yeah.
the fast hands and um, the sticking are flying all the same time.
Yeah. Yep. He's amazing. But he said he took off like 3 years. He didn't go out. He didn't date. He didn't do anything but just practice, practice, practice all day long. That's how he can play doubles as fast with his hands as he can with his feet, or vice versa.
Yeah, he said this kind of stuff for me because the first time that he came in Brazil, I saw him and talked with him. I have he visited my drum school. I have some pictures, and he returns 11 years after, and he still reminds me. And he asked me, "Do you still married?"
Do you still what?
Married.
Oh.
Because he want to date anything like anybody any else. He didn't want to marry with a girl because, like you said, he just want to play and focus on drums.
No, that's all he did.
That's incredible. I never seen anything like this.
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, we have so many questions here. How do I improve my groove? I love Taylor. I don't drum, but I love you. Do you teach by Skype? Okay.
Yes.
Where did she learn to play samba?
Probably just listening to other drummers and just trying to, replicate it.
Okay. We have a comment here from Daisuke. It's in Chinese or Korean or Japanese. I don't know. So if you want to that we read your comment, please write in Portuguese, Spanish, or English, please. Okay. What's your favorite drum kit?
Well, probably my DWs. But now there are a lot of nice kits out there on the market, a lot. But my favorite has to be, the one that I own, which are my DWs.
Do you have any endorsements right now?
Nope. Nothing.
Your symbols are manual. Do you use manual for a long time?
No, it's just been a couple of years. I started watching Anna Canals and Benny Greb and Mike Johnston, and they all played vinyl, so I started accumulating them. I just bought them like one by one.
Okay, great. What your first drum kit? Mike John is asking you what was your first drum kit?
It was you're probably not going to recognize the name. It was a little red sparkle kit. It was called Whitehall.
Whitehall.
I have no idea who made it, but I played them for many years, and it was just a snare, one mounted 12 and a 16, and with the kick, I think the kick was a 22-inch, and it traveled with me for a good while.
Great. Whitehall. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
gave it away to one of my students. I had no idea who made them back then.
I will search for this drum kit on the Google. Okay, has Headspace is asking you, do you listen to Paul Motion,
Uh,
the drummer Paul Motion?
I have heard him, but I don't, on a regular basis. No.
Okay, Mike again. Ever seen Buddy Rich play live?
When I got married, I left where I was from in Michigan and moved down here. And that same year, Buddy Rich came to Michigan and played at the college. And all those years that I wanted to see Buddy Rich, so I never got to see him.
I know. How many kids do you have?
4.
I love it. How do you improve my grooving? Okay, I think we have responded all these questions. Okay, let's go into the finish. This is streaming. I want to left to you your comments. What you can say for the people that are watching us now and will be watching after this. So
Okay.
it's up to you right now.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It's just very humbling that people are enjoying what I do. I mean, I'm just a regular lady who I've always played drums, and then all of a sudden, people have started noticing me, and I'm just so appreciative of all of the comments that I get. I always get nice comments like, "Would you be my grandma?" and things like that. So, I'm so thankful that I'm able to still play at my age. Because most people my age are not playing drums, the females especially. And I'm just, happy to be teaching Skype lessons, keeping myself active. So, I'm grateful for all my fans, and just for you guys that are beginner drummers or even have played for a while but you're not advancing. Always look for new material, look for new ideas to study, and keep your hands in shape. Don't let it, if you've played drums in high school and you were a good drummer, don't let it sit by the wayside and then try to pick it up again when you're 40 and 50. Why quit all those years? Try to keep it up, because I feel like, once you're a drummer, you should be always a drummer. So
Great.
Study and enjoy, and do the work behind it, though. Just like if you're a professional soccer player, you have to practice. They practice a lot to do all those trick shots and, dribbling with their feet and everything. And so everything you do, ice skating, professional ice skaters, they spend hours and hours and hours, just like a professional cellist and a violinist. When you practice, and you practice 8 to 10 hours a day for a certain amount of days and months or years, that's when your skill level goes from here to here. So it's putting that quality time in. If you like it and love it enough, you will spend that time. And I think all of us as musicians that are able to do these kind of things, we have had those days. Not like you can do it every day, but we have had in our learning years, we've had days and weeks and months that we have spent that much time practicing. And that's what it takes.
Great. I agree. It's such a good vibes and good motivation for the people here. I want to ask you just one thing, but just to finish doing a little drums solo for us. But before that, just let me to say something for the people, a little advice. Next week we have 4 live streamings here on this profile. On next Tuesday we have a Brazilian drummer called Ana de Ferreira, that she is living now in Nashville, Texas. On the Tuesday, we have Juliana Novo from Brazil too, a metal drummer. Next Friday, we will have here Camille Bigot from France. Do you know Camille? Dorothea? Camille Bigot is amazing drummer too. Next Friday. And Saturday, we have Lauren Brown from Colors Music. Do you know Lauren Brown?
No.
No, I will send you. She played drums and does the, I don't know how to say, with feet, dancing with feet.
Oh, tap dancing?
Tap dancing and drumming same time.
Oh.
Very cool, very cool. Next Saturday. Okay, don't miss it, don't miss it. And I want to say thank you for Dorothea. Thank you so much for your time here.
You're welcome. I'll play a little bit of 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Yeah. About that in the last hour.
Let's finish with this. And thank you for patience. Thank you for time. It's such a great honor for us. And don't go away from another streaming. I will finish, but we still talking at the backstage. Okay. Just to finish. Okay. People, thank you for being here. Thank you for sending your questions. You are really awesome. Thank you for your attention here to be so kind with Mrs. Dorothea. So we see you next week. Thanks so much. God bless. And let's hear 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover with Dorothea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good night. Have a good week. See you soon. Thank you, Dorothea. We love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.